All right. Hey, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Nana Togo Masiaba Klutafere Dufira. Um, your favorite friendly neighborhood Unana Mangansi. So today, this this is after this evening when I woke up, I checked my Facebook to see what was going on in the world, and I was greeted. Omikunle, how you doing? Jay, what's happening? I was greeted by a number of notes in my feed on my thread, and basically what it came down to. Hey, Emil, what's going on? What it came down to was why we gotta pay all this money for spiritual services, and it was there were definitely different nuances to it. Great, it's great to hear, Jay. Uh, and I'm great to hear from you, Omi. Um, It was definitely a much more nuanced question, but the crux of it is why we got to pay all this money. This is supposed to be our ancestral birthright, our heritage. Why we got to pay this extra money? Why we got to pay that extra money for something that's supposed to be ours in the first place? And I understand the question. Asked it myself, you know. And then subsequent questions that come out of that is stuff like, what do the voodoos need with the money, their spirits? What kind of spiritual person needs all this money? And I answered the question that I saw and the subsequent questions that came after that. And there is actually an ongoing conversation right now. But I felt like the basics should be addressed publicly. Um, and I know for certain some practitioners are going to weigh in with a slightly different take on it. Um, And I know for some people who are not practitioners but are trying to get into voodoo, they will be unhappy with the answer, no matter how you slice it. So, mm, so without further ado, yeah, also I thought this was apropos because on the 24th or the 28th, one of them days, I have to look at the calendar. Uh, there is a festival to Mama O, and Mama O is money. She is money. Money, 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 money. It's my wife's favorite voodoo. My wife had to have a favorite voodoo. It would be Mama O. And the only one she would like as much as Mama O is Mami Ablo, right? The mother of money. But this festival coming up is only for Mama O. Um, so why do we need this money? Why come we always asking y'all for money? Well, because quite frankly, and this also ties into a little conversation I had with somebody not too long ago. Hey, so I don't know if y'all know this. Hold on, I'm gonna take a sidetrack, yo, because my bestest bud in the world is being a complete and utter butthole. So I'm gonna go ahead and get him. Uh, so there's this thing floating around that says basically if you put a piece of coal into hot peanut butter, you gonna get thank you. You're gonna get crystal. It's gonna turn into a crystal. You gotta put the coal in hot peanut butter, and then and then take that out of the peanut butter and put it in some ice, and then you can peel off the peanut butter, and it's gonna be a crystal underneath. And I looked at this, I'm like, I don't think that's hot enough. I don't think that's how they go. It's going. I don't think it works that way. But I liked it. Look, and it wasn't just on. That wasn't just the only thing on the video. You clean crap off your clean tarnished silver with ketchup and all kinds of craziness. Um, but when I see stuff like that, I post it. Yeah? And one of my friends is science minded. He got upset. He's still mad. I told him if I had known if it was going to do that to him, I'd have did it. I'd have put that out there a long time ago. He's still out about it. Hey, Miss Young, how you doing, Mr. Young? Nefra, how you doing? I hope that's it. You know what? I better stop misgendering people. That's a prisonable offense. All right. So Nefra, how you doing? Uh, so long story short, uh, he he just put a message up there a few seconds. Oh, I'm trying to do it with that. I can't do it. It said, if they need money, tell them to put hot coals in a in peanut butter. They'll be rich in no time. Yeah. Dig Dug was happening. Hey man, I saw that video Jack shot of you while you was driving. I guess he was somewhere in Dagon, Daegu somewhere. You was getting it. It's pretty good. Uh, all right. So why do the spirits need money? Hey, what's up? So the long and the short of it is we ask you for the money because it's necessary. Now, I can't speak for most practitioners. I know for myself, right? A lot of practitioners sustain themselves with part of what you offer, right? And that's completely legit in the traditions. Um, the voodoos, they not only permit this, they encourage it to a degree. Um, the town is supposed to take care of its priests, right? That's what he does. For myself, I know I live in a country that is not on good terms with voodoo. And I know that the people who mostly come to us for help aren't exactly big ballers rolling in dough. I mean, there's a few that are, but most of them aren't. And so to avoid proud, I would rather you come to the voodoos and I lose money than I scare you away from the voodoos because you can't afford it. And as it is, even doing that. Okay, hold on. So what I me myself, I have a 9 to 5 job. Right? I have a 9 to 5 job and I get all kinds of other benefits and perks and all kinds of other things for having lived the life that I've lived, right? Blessings, right? So I'm stifling these yawns because I just got up not too long ago. I work nights. So I don't necessarily sustain myself off of, I use it in a pinch, but it's mostly for the community. I have a local community that's here. I also have people that are far away, but the local community that's here, they are just as poor as everybody else in the world that practice voodoo. And sometimes they need a little extra change, or sometimes they'll need a ceremony that they can't afford, or they can't afford to purchase materials for, stuff like that. So I use that money when people give me something extra. I use that money that would ordinarily go into the priest's pocket. I use that money and I set it to the side to take care of the people, right? Because my name is Nana, and as Nana, I am obliged to provide uh, shelter and protection for the people. Where am I? One of the people that's watching this live, they asked the question where, and you want to know where I am? I'm in Alaska, and yes, they got black people up here. But all the people who come to voodoo, all the people that the voodoo's call aren't black. They're natives, they're whites, they're Asians. My godmother just recently initiated an Indian man. So yeah, it's not a color thing. It's not a color or race thing. It's not even an ethnicity thing. Hi Tessa, how you doing? So anyway, yeah, yeah. So you take care of your people when you're a nana. You have to do that. So if you run up on somebody, he's got a grandiose title. Nana and Togbe are the only two I know, but I know that there are others, right? And he's got a grandiose. If he got this long, exotic sounding name, don't be scared. Ask him. Now, you don't have to ask me. I've already told you. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to tell you again. On my in my groups and on my website, I completely translate the meaning of my name. So that. Hmm, well, thank you, Miss Tess. I completely translate my name so that people know who I am saying I am, right? And then as you get to know me, as you get to deal with me, you can decide whether or not I'm living up to that moniker, right? You can decide if I'm living up to that title or not. And you can decide whether or not I'm a priest you feel like dealing with, right? But Anana and Atobe are obliged to focus on this little demanding little girl. You can't hear the movie. You want to pause it and go upstairs? Okay, listen closer then. Anana is obliged. That girl is a handful. Y'all don't even know. I'd rather deal with the voodoo's mad than deal with this girl some days. I tell you what, she is life. Anyway, um, Anana is obliged to deal with people, right? Which is something that a lot of priests have the luxury of not having to worry about, right? A lot of priests can go to their temples or their whatever's and close the door, right? And if they don't feel like dealing with people and their problems, they don't. And the voodoos are like, well, you don't have to. Yes, things only a parent would say. And the priest doesn't have to. The voodoo's like, well, don't do it then. Don't talk to him. Priest, the voodoos just tell the priest, hey, don't do it. Just make sure my daggone offerings is on time. Yeah, just like me. I ain't gonna front. My mom lived with me. She tell me all the time. Um, but with a nana and a togbe, right? These words carry chieftainship with it, right? These words carry authority, and with that authority, it brings the responsibility. So now I don't have the option and the luxury of just looking at somebody who don't have it and say, sound like a personal problem. Now I got to go out here and help you get it because I'm responsible for my people. Now, what constitute my people is a different conversation altogether. And random inquiries into voodoo does not make you so. It's mostly my family and my community. These people's well-being, spiritual well-being, I'm responsible for. And if your stomach is growling too loud for you to hear the uh, dictates of the spirits, it's not going to help you at all. So a nana or a tope, that's their responsibility, right? We're supposed to be the ones going out there standing in like we the ones at the soup kitchen, right? And we're the ones handing out bread, feeding masses and stuff with our own resources. With our own resources. So that's how that gets down. So you don't ever anyway. So why do we ask for money? Random donations and the like. Well, random donations because if you put in, then you part of, and if you part of, then you get the draw from that resource. There is that. I don't ask for random donations. I did run a GoFundMe one to help wants to help put together the temple. Enough money got produced to upkeep what we had, but not enough to establish a new hard site that would be fitting. And I just shrugged my shoulders. I didn't lose no sleep over it. What I wanted to do, and what I still want to do, is generate the funds so I can build a seminary. And at this seminary, you can bring your kids to learn the basis of Vodou. At the seminary, you could send your young adults and your adults, your postgraduate adults, to go and uh, get their secondary educations um, in a voodoo friendly environment, shall we say? Right. Basically, I just wanted to open up a private school, and the basis of what I need for that is there. The only thing I don't have is a place to put students, and I want to run it from preschool to doctorates. Um, I was talking with an educator who is in Voodoo. She's in Voodoo down in the lower 48 somewhere. I want to say Florida, but it might be Texas. It's somewhere down in the south somewhere, someplace that's not having really nice weather right now. And um, I told her I had to tell her up front, so I don't have nothing to pay for you. I can't even help you meet expenses to get from where you are up here. But if I could at least pick your brain for the details of operating a facility, and maybe one day offer you the administrative position of principal, right? Or as a commandant, right? Or whatever. I need to do this, and I'm still in the process of getting this done. Hey, what's up, Nate? What's going on with you? You know, I'm still in the process of making this happen. It requires money, blah, 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 blah. I ain't got it. I'm not finna ask other poor people to put up money that they ain't got. Feed yourselves. Especially since y'all ain't even fed your ancestors yet. Half of y'all, not y'all, but a lot of people haven't even fed their ancestors. And a lot of people haven't even fed their voodoos. And a lot of people haven't even taken baths. And a lot of people haven't even made amends for things that they've done when they were not so bright, when they were not so spiritually inclined, right? And so for me to ask for you to do this extra thing before we even did the basics of just securing your spiritual freedom and well-being, that's just crazy. So I didn't take down the GoFundMe, but I don't even pay attention to it anymore. There could be $1 billion in there right now, and I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because what's necessary is for people to understand what voodoo is, what it is not, and how to do it. Hi, Joseph. How you doing? So when we ask for money, first off, if we asking for donations, it's usually for something like that. Like I said, I asked for donations a while back. It was like 2, maybe 3 years ago. Yeah, almost 3 years ago, I asked for those types of donations. I'm not asking for it no more. Eat first. Get your voodoos next. Then we'll talk about this other stuff, you know. But when you ask for a service, you're not for me, you're not paying for my services. Right? You don't pay me for my services. Hey, too real, what's happening, man? You're not paying for my services. You're not paying for my services. I know my value. I know my value even if you don't. You can't afford it. So you're not paying for it. I don't charge you. All right. I don't charge nobody for what I do. But I can't afford everybody's sacrifices. So I will charge you for herbs that is necessary for the work that you need done. I'll charge you for animals, animal parts, sacrifices. All right. I'll charge you for that stuff. I'll charge you, especially if it's a large one and I have to do it because I can't outsource or whatever. I'll charge you for the space that I have to rent because, like most people in most cities, you can't just bring a cow into town and bring a bull into town and offer it up as a sacrifice. You know, in your apartment, on the sidewalk, or nowhere. You know, you can't just do that. So I have to go rent space so that I can do this at. I can make the I can so that I can make the sacrifices. So, so it's intensive. It's very resource intensive. And then on top of that, a lot of times, especially with baths and stuff like that, I charge you for what it takes to purchase it. I mean, to purchase the stuff to make it. I don't charge you shipping and handling. This is me. This is me. There's other people do it differently, and I don't judge them for it. But the road was hard for me, and so I come from a place of compassion. The African brothers, this is African voodoo, by the way. This isn't Haitian voodoo, and this isn't Louisiana voodoo. All right, this isn't Orisha, Yoruba, Ifa. Hmm? So this is West African voodoo, and West Africa, they're a lot more. They're a lot less forgiving when it comes to the prices. But then there's other ways you can do it. Like, how many of y'all can see yourselves coming up here to Alaska, serving as my handmaiden or manservant until you've worked off your debt? Nobody in America is doing that. Nobody in America is doing that. Uh, so that's an option in Africa. See? If you're in Africa and you don't have the money to pay for the services that you need so that you can, in some cases, even make it to see the end of the week, then and you don't have that money, you say, well, I'll bond myself to you at $1 a day or whatever until my debt is paid. And there you have it. Deal struck. And then that's what happens. We don't do that here. We don't do that here. And and what makes matters even more interesting is we're vehemently opposed to that very idea. So that avenue of uh, helping, that one's gone. Um, I usually tell people, hey, you require 3 eggs, 3 bushels of corn, a bottle of wine, and a bull. For I'm just pulling some stuff out the air now. And then they can, and I'll let them see. I do that because I know they're not gonna get it. They're not gonna get that stuff. They're not gonna get that stuff and give it to me. What they're going to do is say, well, can you go get it? Because they're gonna see what it costs. They're gonna see how hard it is to get it around. They're gonna see how expensive it is to get it up to me. First thing people ask is, can I do it? And the short answer is no. The long answer is it's still no, but if you do it wrong, if it won't be accepted because it shouldn't be accepted because you are not initiated to what you're doing. Right? A lot of people don't even know what it is that they're doing. So the answer will be no just because of that. But then lacking the initiation means, and this is what people don't get, means you lack the education necessary to know what you're doing and how to do it and why you're doing it that way. What hand to use, what blade to use, what direction you can swing the blade in, what direction you cannot swing the blade. You know, all of these different things. What you all there's a whole lot of different stuff that goes into offering sacrifice. You want to go upstairs and be quiet over there. Um, there's a whole lot of stuff that goes into that. So you can play Russian roulette and hope that the spirit guides you to do it correctly. And a lot of people say, yeah, the spirit is going to guide me to do it correctly. And I say more power to you. But if you should so happen to botch that sacrifice, I'll be here. It's going to cost you more money, but I'll be here. Because now you got an extra taboo. You got a extra piece of damage you got to repair in addition to everything else that you was trying to get done that wasn't accepted in the first place. And you can't. Nobody has 15, 20, $1,500, $2,000 just sitting around, 2,500 sitting around to buy bull after bull after bull while you try to figure out how to sacrifice these things properly. Um, so, and then the other thing is that we're in the industry. This is what we are doing all the time. So guess what we know? We know how to get the. What's up, Chris? I ain't seen you in a minute. We know how to get the best bang for your buck, so to speak. And I can't speak for nobody else, but I always go somewhere where I can make sure that I'm not I'm not giving you the most expensive rate possible. It doesn't benefit me. All right. My purpose is to get you understanding voodoo and practicing it in your life. I don't care what your religion is and none of this other good stuff. All these things have their place. I don't care what your job is. I don't care your political affiliations. I don't care. I'm a theocrat, not a Democrat or Republican. I don't have no time for neither one of them. But wow, hey, I ain't seen you guys in forever. Excuse me, y'all. Some of my own army buddies just popped up. Chris, George, Matt. These are all folks that I serve with in some real sticky spots. And I just want to say, hey, what's happening? I am doing well. Thank you, Chris. And I seen you. You don't look bad yourself. Matt, congratulations on your forestry job, man. I'm envious. I wanted that position. But I guess you got beat me to it. George, it's been a while. Hope you and Sophie still doing good. I miss you guys. It's been a minute. Oh man, we got to catch up. Let me finish this block instruction real quick, and then I will get to you, gentlemen. And if anybody else is out there, shoot me a shout out, and I will catch up with y'all. Anyway, I love it when old friends and family just pop up out of the clear blue. That means something. Anyway, so we have to get these things right. We got to get these animals. We got to get these herbs and stuff. You know, a lemon tree. Well, I'll be darned. What's up, Demo? A lemon verbena costs about four or 500, 40, 45, 50, $50, depending on how mature it is, how large it is, where's it at. Kozlowski was happening, man. Depending on where it's at, it'll cost, it'll cost a lot, So we got to go and we got to get this. So we got to get this stuff for you because that way we can help, right? And depending on what it is, do I need the leaf? Do I need the root? Do I need to get the heart? This determines whether or not I'll be able to use the daggone plant again later on. If I just need the leaves, I can harvest off that thing for a while. And I won't charge you for it, right? But if I need the root or the heart, that's a $45 expense. If I need the root or the heart, I'm not even going to consider making that daggone medicine till I know that I have everything else I need to do something with the rest of that daggone tree. Because I'm not going to throw the whole thing away. That's wasteful. The gods can't stand waste. So anyway, that's why we ask for the money. And see, we got to ask for it up front. Because the spirits want they payment before they do the work. And a lot of times, like I tell folks, I say, look, these are the things I need, right? I need the cow, I need the chickens, I need the eggs, I need to, and they'd be like, what are you making a cake? I'm like, no, I'm not making a cake, I'm making you a daggone offering. But then what I need you to do is get these things and get them to me. Folks, go ahead and look at that price list. How much did you say that you want? I need about 400-500, sometimes 700-800. And the reason it's expensive for me, my services tend to be more expensive, but the bulk of my spirits are twins and quadruplets, right? So it's not like I got onesies and twosies there. I don't just have Dan and I'm done. I got Dan, Voodoo Dan. I got Voodoo Dan, the snake, the rainbow serpent. I got him. I also got Venavi. Venavi, that's twins, for those who don't know. Todela, twin. Etsukofi, quadruplets. So I got lots of doubled up and quadrupled up spirits. I can't just. It's going to be twice. Two very important points. One of my friends said the fact that you have to explain to people why a skill or service you provide costs money show that they do not respect you or your service enough to think it has value. Initially, that is the thinking of a lot of people, to include myself. I think, to be honest, it took a minute for me not to be offended by it. But by that same token, a lot of us are coming from traditions and systems that were scandalous, also expensive, although in a different way. That is to say that they didn't say, hey, look, if you want me to do this, I need this much money. They would just pass the offer and play it around, for example. Or every year, somebody would make mention of zakat a little bit more often than is prescribed in the Sunnah and Hadith. Yeah. So, yeah, I get it. I do. I get it. People by the time they come looking for voodoo priests, especially in the West. Now, if we talk about in Africa, a different conversation, but in the West, by the time they come looking for us, They've exhausted all the other options. Voodoo is nobody's first choice in the West. We've vilified it here too long, too thoroughly, too well. You have to be ready to make a in the West, you're either resentful of anything with colonial flavor to it, or you are so desperate that you're willing to make a deal with the devil because that's what you think you're coming to get when you come to voodoo. This is just a fact. I mean, never mind the reason I do these live casts and I teach for free. Somebody told me that somebody told me that one priest told him you have to pay him for him to give you any information. That is a horrible thing to do. That is a horrible thing to do. You cannot expect people to learn anything that way. Right? Hell, even the horrible American colonial system that we hate so much, even they give you your first 12 years of education for free. Hmm? You can't expect people to know anything without teaching them. And you can't expect people to pay to learn something they don't know. That's just absolutely incredibly stupid. So I used to feel some kind of way about it, but they don't know what they don't know. People don't know what they don't know. So you tell them, you teach them, you lead them in the right way by example. Everything everybody that comes to me has to do, I done did already, and some other stuff that they haven't done. I got to pay all this money. I had to pay all this money. Before I was a priest, I was a practitioner. Before I was a practitioner, I was an explorer, looking for my spiritual foundation, just like everybody else. And then I came across my godmother, and I worked for her. I and had gone through, I think, two or three other priests before her, um, and a whole lot of different entire religious systems before. But my godmother, she asked me, what did I want to know? I told her, the only thing I wanted to know was who was my head voodoo and who was my ancestor. She said, I'll tell you that, no charge. I said, that's going to be a mainstay for me too. If I ever had to be in a position to do this, I'll never charge anybody for that information. And I don't. If all you want to know is who's your head voodoo and who's your ancestors, come to me. If any of them spirits will reveal themselves to me, I'll tell you, and I won't ask you for a blue nickel. I won't ask you for a blessed thing. Nothing. Not a nix. Nine to the Barnhof. I won't ask you for nothing. Nothing. Because that's the bare minimum you need in order to move forward. Just to take care of you. From there, you can do your minimums. But then I was like, well, how do I get them current? Well, now you want to feed your voodoos and you want to feed your ancestors? Yes. Because I want them to work for me. I want them to look out for me. Throughout all of this, I ain't want to be no daggone priest. I ain't want to be no sorcerer. I ain't want none of that. I just wanted the religious tradition that belonged to me. The religious tradition that was going to be to me what Judaism is to a Jew. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Surprise, I got it. And it came with a whole lot of other stuff, and that's beside the point. But that's what I wanted. That's what I went there for, and that's what I asked her for. She said, okay, no problem. This is what you got to do. You got to feed your voodoos. You got to feed your ancestors. Well, how much is that going to cost? $700. Actually, a little bit more than that, but why split hairs? And I did that. I didn't do it all at once. I said, okay. And it took me I think it actually took me about 6 months. Well, my boy is on it today. He wrote, teaching or sharing information is done out of love. But if someone, oh, and y'all, the reason I'm reading what I'm seeing is if you're seeing this on Facebook, then you can see this too. But other people will be catching this later on YouTube, and the notes aren't showing up there. So, in order to keep everything in context, ah, teaching or sharing information is done out of love. But if someone wants you to provide a service, compensation should be expected. Taking someone to the cleaners is horrible, but if someone comes to you for you to do something they cannot do, they should expect to compensate you. Now, if you go out of your way to give help on your own accord, that's a different story. Yes, very true. And again, oh, hey Shakira, how you doing? That plays to the whole Nana Togbe situation that I'm in. I don't have the luxury of not squaring people away uh, to an extent. Um, Now I'm supposed to feed you, for example, but I'm not supposed to put you. I'm not supposed to give you red lobster. All right, I can get you some bread and some water and a job application, right? Which is literally what I do on a nightly basis at the time. Um, you know, that's what I'm supposed to do. I can lead the horse to water, but I can't make it think. So yeah, yeah, heh, that is what it is. At some point in time, like if y'all wanted me to stop my regular job, oh, I know you go with some rice and peas, boy. Man, I gotta get you back over the house for dinner too. I gotta get you, and you know what? I ain't sat down and broke bread with you and your old lady at all yet. Now, not at the same time, man. We gotta do it. We gotta do it. We gotta catch up. We gotta catch up. When y'all coming up here? You and your wife are intrepid. Y'all need to come up here to Alaska so we can go ahead and get you broke in. Uh, Winter time's coming. We're gonna hit it up here like Game of Thrones. You need to come on up. You need to come on up here so we can do it to it. Um, so that's why we charge, right? To get the materials, because the you're gonna need the animal sacrifices. You're gonna need the herbs to go into the medicines uh, to facilitate healing and fortune and restoration and atonements and things of this nature, right? But I do what any other what you would expect a priest to do. Only when I do it, it works. I don't know what other people do, but when I do it, it works. It's water. That's all it is. Um. So now the question becomes, why do the voodoos need money? Because what folks don't know, and I'm gonna tell you, is that usually it's something like I need three eggs. Just pulling this out of the air, right? It doesn't really mean anything. So I need 3 eggs, 6 chickens, 4 rams, 10 bags of rice, these crazy herbs that you can't pronounce, and these flowers that, unless you're a horticulturalist, you don't know what an oleander is, and all this other stuff. Chrysanthemums, goji berries, some fruits and nuts, some cola nuts, some chalk, and $500. All of that and $500. What's the $500 for? The $500 is to go sit on the altar. And the voodoos will allow the priest to borrow the money, but he can't take all of the money. So I don't make these rules up. I just go with them. $500, and so now you got this money up there too. In addition to all of that stuff, that is not price gouging. That is not taking advantage of them. That is what the spirits require, because that's what they requested. So we don't make these prices. We don't make these prices. We don't sit up here and say, well, what's economical or whatever. We don't do that. Um, the spirits through divination, they tell us what's already there. The easiest one to verify this with is with the Afa priest. Afa priest had the Odu. The Odu is a written record. In that written record is a prescription of different things. What the sacrifice will be is in there. It does not change. That is for those who practice Afa Ifa, and they have the Odu Kopoli. I don't practice that. I practice Amengansi. It's a little less comfortable for suspicious Westerners. Hi Dana, how you doing? It's a little less comfortable for suspicious Westerners because uh, there's nothing in writing. But the reason there's nothing in writing is because the practice predates the written word anywhere in human history, and that's my tool of divination. So it's all the more important for me to make sure that I come across as a man of good character, good and integrity, and relatively beyond reproach. You got to at least know that I'm not going to cheat you here, right? Because you got to trust what I tell you, and there's no way for you to go back and read something and verify it. Even if I tell you something that is different than what you know the truth to be, I'm telling you what the truth is. And it's real hard for anybody in the West, in Africa, anywhere to be comfortable with that. But that is what it is. I tell this one. I told this young lady that she was an only child. She was like, I got two brothers and sisters. I said, no, you the only one from your parents. I got two brothers and sisters, and they look just like me. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. And I didn't. I didn't know what to tell her. I was shook because I was like, well, I promise you, this is what I'm reading. Come to find out, everybody in that family ain't been 100% honest. And there was something that happened over at the hospital. So she's the only child. But that's the type of thing that's going on. My wife is home now. I'm gonna have to cut this short. She bringing groceries and I gotta help. So I know, right? so so look, long story short, the money's on there because the spirits use that money for energy themselves, just like they use the rest of it. They use it to make work happen in the world. Um, and stuff like that is to be used for. Yes. All right. For the stuff that we talked about earlier. It's okay, baby. I was just wrapping it up with him. I told him you was back and that I'm gonna have to hop off for you. So. Oh my goodness, y'all. Look, when I hear that daggone accent, I gotta let y'all go. I'm gonna let you know. It is what it is. Ray, you got here too late. Daddy gotta go help mommy. But mommy can take care of daddy. So look here, y'all. Give me a little bit, and I'll probably revisit this again later on. Awesome. Uh, I'm gonna go help out my family, and y'all take care. Remember, obey your taboos, feed your voodoos, and have good character, and y'all will be bulletproof. I love you all. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see y'all later. From here, Nana Tokomasi, Habla Plu, Danfit, Ade Dufita. Peace.
Okay, I need the help and little pizza. And Mama is with